So in today's video we're going to discuss whether you should rent or whether you should buy. It is a controversial subject. A lot of people swear it's better to rent. A lot of people think it's better to buy. So we're here to discuss that from a perspective if you live in the Blouberg Tableview area. And if you do live in the area, please subscribe to my channel. Support local, it means a lot to me. My name is Ashley D. I work at Rematch Property Associates in the Blouberg Tableview area. I service Cape Town, Melkbos, Milton, all over. So yeah, should you rent or should you buy? So let's begin discussing whether you should rent. So a good time to rent is if you're moving from Johannesburg, you don't know the area, you're moving to the Blauuwberg area, you think that's a nice area. Rent first for 6 months, unless you know an agent or you know the area or you have friends here that can really point you in the right direction. Firstly, if you're going to like it. So rent for 6 months, put the difference you would have paid on a bond or the cash, put that in an investment or put that away in the meantime. But that would be a good time to first see if you like the area. You might move for the 6 months renting and go, oh, not for me. Or you might say, look, I like Sunningdale or I like Parklands or I like closer to the beach. Then you'd get an idea of living here for 6 months. Where's what and where. Another good time to rent is if you want to save up and get the costs associated with buying a property and you don't have those costs. Then a good idea is if you have 20,000 Rand a month to rent or 15,000 Rand a month to rent, then rent something for a lot less and put every month 5 or 10,000 Rand away that you would have been paying on the bond. So if you were going to say, right, I can afford to buy a property for 1 million, your cost would have been 10 to 12,000 Rand a month. So then rent for 7 and put 5 away every month. At the end of the year, you got 50, 60,000 Rand. After 2 years, 100, 150, start accruing good capital to be able to buy a property. If you're renting a property in the short term, great. Long term, more than 5 years, I would think twice about renting, because at that point, you could rather buy a property. So let's talk about the pros of buying. I'm all for buying. If you're going to stay in the area longer than 5 years, you've moved to the Blouberg area, you know you want to stay here, or you're going to buy a property as investment, buy. Because you will definitely, within 5 years, your property is going to have gone up considerably. Your bond's going to be staying the same. After 15, 20 years, you've paid your bond, you own that property. That's passive income, or you don't have to pay every month rent. So just a story, 20 years ago, I was like begging my friends. I mean, you could buy a massive house in Tableview for 400,000, 500,000 Rand. You could buy a house. Today it's 3-4 million for those houses. And the guys were renting at the time for like 10,000 Rand or 5,000 Rand a month. They're paying 20, 30,000 Rand a month now. Their bonds would have been finished. After 5 years, it would have anyway been what they've been paying on rent. So you would be farming backwards. So buy, if you can buy a property, buy a property. Another great reason to buy property is that you've got control over what you want to do in your property. If you're renting, you can't just go paint it any color. You can't keep what pets you want to keep. You're stuck basically with all the rules of what that landlord says. You're going to need double deposits. Another good reason to buy is at the moment there's no rentals, so you're going to need to stand in queues and you find this awesome property and then there's 20 people all wanting that house to rent. There's very little rentals available that are really nice, so it's difficult. When you have your own house and you get some extra money and you can paint your house, you can add a room, you can paint it any color you want. If you're not in a home, body corporate, and then you keep pets, if it's a freestanding property, you're freer to do more things to your property and you can add value to your property and it grows. The value of your property grows, so it's always better to buy than to rent if you're going to stay in the property longer than 5 years. So yeah, as I said earlier, please like and subscribe to my video. If you're thinking of selling your property or you'd like to discuss options, if you have any comments, please leave them below and have a good week.